It is Cody Stamann joining us from Extreme Couture there in Las Vegas. I imagine a training session just got done. Is that what's
Yeah,
happening?
we just finished up. It always ends up. I'm always like, okay, I can make it home in 10 minutes, but then I train for an extra 20 minutes. It never happens. So here I am.
Well, I appreciate you carving out some time, man. Let's just jump into it. I mean, a big win back in June, performance of the night, kind of getting off the skid. I just got to ask you, man, how big was that result? Because it seemed like one that, man, you really needed.
I really did. Because I felt like the whole time I was on that skid, I was doing everything right. You know what I mean? I was looking at all my performances, trying to figure out what went right, what went wrong. Trying to make adjustments. I wasn't letting my ego kind of take the wheel and drive me around. I felt like I was really getting better. You know what I mean? And going into that Saeed Nurmagomedov fight, I literally felt like I was the best athlete I've ever been. You know what I mean? And then to go out and get choked out in less than a minute, I was dumbfounded. I didn't know where to go, because I felt like I'd just done everything right. And, so to get that opportunity, a few months later in June, and to kind of capitalize on it, I just feel like that was just like me sticking to the grind, not letting anything deter me from, what I know I'm capable of doing. And then, obviously I get the result against Eddie Wineland. I would have liked to have had a little more time in the cage this year, but it was really, really tough this fall to book a fight. I had like 3 or 4 different fights fall through. So I guess we're going to Brazil. Let's do it.
I love it. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, so I saw you squeezed in a lot of hunting for the rest of the year, which was nice, but that wasn't your plan on being off after June, right?
No. I mean, I told Sean Shelby, UFC, my management, I'm like, you guys, like, I'll go again this summer. You know what I mean? They're like, well, it's probably going to be fall. They're pretty booked out this summer. I'm like, well, fall it is. And I kind of went right back to a training camp. I was right back in the gym. Thinking that I'd probably get something really, really tough come fall, and I had a couple good fight offers. I was supposed to fight Sergey Morzov in November. That was, I think, in August. I got that offer. I immediately said yes. He says no, he can't do it. Then he ends up fighting somebody else in December. It was confusing to me why I didn't just get rebooked with him in December. Obviously I probably wasn't like high up on the list, and I don't think I'm high up on the list for anybody to fight. I've had top 10 fighting experience. I fought the champ. I fought the number 1 or 2 guy in the world. Close fights. And the reality is like, I'm not an asshole that's running around on Twitter. Like I keep to myself. And that's the way I want to be. I want people to know me for my skills in the cage, not for my antics out of it. So, I'm probably one of the more dangerous guys to fight. At 135 pounds, everybody's like, I want to fight a name. Well, the reality is I don't have a number next to my name right now, so I'm not a name. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a respectful way to look at it. I would disagree with you, but I understand the point of view that you're making there. So let me ask you, you want to fight. They say you got to go to Brazil to face a Brazilian. It's a UFC newcomer, kind of a wild card. I mean, a lot of things happening here. Did you just want to fight so bad you're like, I don't care? Or did you weigh it out? Like, man, do I really want to travel? Do I really want to face a guy that's new to the division? What were your thoughts?
I did. I weighed it out and I thought about it, and I was like kind of looking at the guys I could potentially fight. Guys that, 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 guys. And every single one of them's an absolute stud. You know what I mean? The benefit of that is I know who they are. I've seen them fight. I've seen how they react to things. Then this kid pops up, and I went and watched his last 2 fights, and I was confused about it because, like GSP said, I was not impressed with his performance. Like there was nothing that he did that I felt like I couldn't handle, and I'm like, no, unless there's some kind of shit going on that I don't know about. I think I burned this kid down in Brazil in front of in front of a hometown crowd. So, the only bad thing about this is that it's in Brazil. You know what I mean? You're talking about a jiu-jitsu guy that's absolutely stood on the ground, that isn't a great wrestler. I take that matchup all day. You know what I mean? So it really just came down to like, there's a ton of really, really tough matchups. I know this kid's tough, but stylistically, I really think I can put hands on this dude.
Well, Luan Lacerda, like you said, the opponent, UFC 283, as you said, a jiu-jitsu guy, I think is what you would qualify him as, right? I mean, 10 out of 12 submission wins. Obviously, we know wrestling is your bread and butter. I'm just curious, at this point in your career, I mean, do you do extra work on the mats? Are you doing more jiu-jitsu than you normally would, or do you even bother with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been grappling a ton. There's a few things he does. You know what I mean? Like I've never had him pull guard on me. You know what I mean? Like get a hold of my leg, pull guard. That's the one situation in this fight where I'm like, I don't actually, you know what I mean? I didn't compete a ton in jiu-jitsu, so I didn't have guys pulling guard on me. That's like that one position because honestly, I think that's kind of a fucking bitch way to fight. Like pulling guard, come on, dude. Like if this guy pulls guard in the cage, I'm literally gonna flip him off, flip the crowd off. I'm gonna go fucking nuts because I mean. I just think that's just the worst. If you have to get someone to the ground, you know what I mean? In an MMA fight, you have to force them to the ground. You have to take their ass to the ground. This kid can't take me down, so I think he's going to be pulling guard. And I think it's either going to make for a really exciting fight because I'm going to really be able to let my hands go and let my stand up go and hurt this guy, on his feet, or he's gonna every time he gets hit, he's gonna sit to his ass. You know what I mean? And try to grab my leg and sit to his ass. I don't know. I mean, if that happens, I know that in those scrambles and exchanges, I know I can win. But I'm really hoping like the crowd, the UFC, everything. Like I really hope this kid brings it. You know what I mean? I hope he brings his best and he tries to offensively wrestle me and kickbox with me. You know what I mean? Like that would be ideal. But either way, I'm feeling really confident about my skills. Like I said, I didn't take any time off. I know what I can do in the cage. I fought the fucking best. And I'm looking forward to, getting back there. And Luan Lacerda is just kind of a guy in the way, and like going to enemy territory and fighting him is actually kind of exciting at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I really wish it was like Jose Aldo or something, but if it's him, whatever.
Selfishly, I now hope that he tries to pull guard on you just so I get to see you flipping him off. And
yeah, I'm 100%. I'm going to go fucking nuts if he does it.
I love it. Listen, it's funny, Cody. I was trying to remind myself of how many times you had fought outside of the country. So I was, checking out your record and kind of going back through it. Obviously, Fight Island. But then I remembered your third fight ever was in Romania. How the hell do you end up fighting your third fight ever in Romania?
So I desperately needed to get on the Ultimate Fighter. Like you had to be 3-0, right, to qualify for the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, in hindsight, I wasn't going to make the show anyways. There was way too many guys with big records. But I really wanted to try out. And so I was just asking everyone, everywhere, someone get me a fight. And I posted something on like a Facebook group. And they're like, well, there's a fight in a week in Romania. And they're like, do you have a passport? I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? I'm like, do I need a work visa? Because like that. And they're like, no, it's not like that. Like, you just like literally like, I literally got off the plane. It was like 5 pounds over, cut weight, weighed in, fought, like left, and everyone's like, well, how was Romania? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I literally cut weight, slept, woke up, fought, and then they shipped me out that night. So it was a kind of like a crazy whirlwind experience. But definitely the American guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can go to different countries and beat the shit out of them. Like, as long as you're not going to like Russia, like you're gonna do really well.
That's awesome, man. What a great story. Well, listen, like you said, man, you're making your way back into the rankings. I mean, a couple wins and you'll be right there. I want to ask you about the top of the division, man. What are your thoughts on Henry Cejudo coming back? Do you like his chances against Aljamain? I mean, stylistically, how are you feeling about all this?
What a little turd. I think Henry Cejudo saw the onslaught of bad motherfuckers that were coming up and was like, you know what? I'm getting older. I've done a lot of great things. I'm done. I'm done. And then as soon as he saw that Aljo was a champ, he was like, well, I can out-wrestle Aljo. This is actually a good stylistic matchup for me. So all of a sudden he's popping back in. You know what I mean? Like, he did a good job of staying relevant in between, but I think if Jan wins that fight, I don't think we see Henry Cejudo come back. I just think that he knows that Aljamain Sterling is a good matchup for him, because like Aljo's not going to be able to take Henry down. Like, let's just be real. It's just not going to happen. Henry's too good of a wrestler. I think Henry just popped in to collect another paycheck, and I think he's going to pop out just as fast. He's going to be in and out. He's going to fight Aljo, get his belt back, and he's going to try to like maybe get a 45-pound title fight, but I doubt that comes to fruition. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Interesting. Going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And you're right. I think stylistically it's a good matchup for him. So maybe that was the motivation. Well, interesting. All right, we'll see how it plays out.
He doesn't want to fight Peter Yan. He doesn't want to fight on any of those other guys that are coming up. Like, You know what I mean? Like, he was smart. He was smart to leave when he did. Like, and I'm telling you, he's going to walk out of the door just as fast. I'd bet money on it. I'd bet a handsome amount of money on that.
I can imagine the reaction inside the UFC offices. They're not going to be happy again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about you, Cody. Obviously, you said, man, you just wanted to fight. It's a guy on your way back into the rankings. I guess, what's the goal here, man? I mean, obviously, you want to go put on a show. You're going to do it in enemy territory. And then is it, let's get this thing turned around quickly? As you say, you're not going to make a lot of noise on social media, but is it, is it fighting some ranked guys? What's the plan from here?
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of at a weird place where I've fought so many good guys that I know I can beat anyone. You know what I mean? I know that when I lose, it's my fault. It's my mistake. You know what I mean? I'm losing because I'm making mistakes, not because they're better than me. And I clean up those mistakes. I don't really know who can beat me. You know what I mean? So there's not really a name that I'm like, ooh, absolutely not that guy. You know what I mean? So, after I put hands on Luan Lacerda, and I think I can get him out in 2 rounds. That's the goal. I really don't want to go to the judges in Brazil, especially with as bad as the judging is in America. I'm sure it's going to be even worse down there. So I'm gonna put Luan out, and then, really whoever, you know what I mean? Whoever pops up, I'm kind of a guy that takes every damn fight that comes my way anyways. So it'd be pretty tough for me to say no at this point. Like, anybody, I've got a brand new contract. I'm making pretty good money. Like, and I'm motivated by money. Like, I don't do this shit for anything else. Like, I want to get paid. So, I'll fight whoever wants to get in there and scrap. Let's go.
I love it. Got to respect that attitude. Well, the next one is Luan Lacerda. It's UFC 283 in Brazil. Cody, wish you the best of luck. Of course, appreciate the time, and we'll let you get back to work there at Extreme Couture.
Thanks, brother.